Hey fellas, it's 265 Chevy here. This video I really don't want to make, but I guess I'm gonna have to. On April 21st, today is April 24th, my mom passed. She was doing real good. I got her back from the AFib, and man, she was walking around and going up and down the stairs. She was going to get released from PT. Everything was going good. Then on April 21st, I came downstairs about 9 o'clock in the morning to give her her pills and feed her her breakfast. And she was very lethargic, that's how you say it. She was completely out of it. So rushed her to the hospital. And she had, a day or so before, she had a little bouts of diarrhea and stuff like that. So, I told the nurses and everything and the doctors, and, they gave her some some fluids. And it pepped her up, and she started talking and, complaining about different things. So, I thought she was going to get better. And it took a little while. They needed to draw some blood, and because she's 86, and I guess they thought that she was dehydrated, that they couldn't really find the veins, so they had to put I think it's called a pick something in her arm, so they could draw the blood or give her medicine. And they might have thought that she had a little case of C. diff, because she had the diarrhea and she's been taking on some antibiotics, for a bladder infection from 3 weeks ago, and she still had like a little infection that her regular doctor gave her some antibiotics. Well, when the test come back, it showed that she had, well, let me explain a little bit of this. From 12, you got an infection in your blood. Anything above 12 or under is normal. Anything above 12, you have infection in your blood. But she came back at 60. So they thought it was the C. diff or whatever. So they started giving her medicine for the C. diff, and they brought her to ICU. In the meantime, she's still talking and responding and everything like that. So I guess this was about 8:30 at night. Told her I was going to go home, get something to eat. I was going to come back, but I had to work the next day. Then my wife Mary was going to come the next morning, but I was going to be there later on until she went, fell asleep and everything like that. So I would say roughly in about 20-25 minutes, I get a phone call at the house and say that my mom took a turn for the worse, and she quit breathing. So they had to put a tube down her throat to help her breathe, and they're still giving her drugs to, for the C. diff or whatever, well, antibiotics, I guess you can say. And they recommended, if they didn't know how far I lived, that to start heading back, because her pressure started falling. So they was giving her drugs for that. And they also did another test of her blood, and now the infection is gone from 60 to 100. So they were pumping all kind of drugs to keep her pressure up at a certain level, and it was fluctuating and everything. So, I called everybody came over, and I guess, everybody was there till about 3:30, and then I finally, she was kind of holding on. She wasn't talking anything then. She was pretty sick. And then, from 3:30 to about 6:15 in the morning, about 6 o'clock, I saw her blood pressure levels starting to drop. So they gave her more medicine, and then asked the lady, well, can you give her some more? And she says, we can't give her any more, because we give her any more, then we're going to kill her. she's pretty much maxed out. So then they gave her some other medicines and to try to bring it back up, and it didn't. So at 6:15 in the morning, they her pressure dropped completely to almost nothing, and I saw her heart rate go from 101 to 77 to 62 and 50, and then it hit 0, and she died right then and there. Not even 24 hours after I had her in. It was definitely unexpected. She was doing good. And then the final report is that they think that the final reading of her blood level of an infection in her blood was 134. And her regular doctor told me yesterday on the 23rd, today's the 24th, that's the highest level that he ever seen as a doctor. So they think what happened is that a part of her bowel, and she was 3 weeks ago, she was complaining a little bit about her stomach problems, and they investigated, but apparently it didn't die. It was infected, but it didn't die. So they got the infection down completely, but then it started coming back up, and we didn't know that. Nobody knew that. And so they think that a part of her bowel died, and that they couldn't, the only way to solve that problem, they would have had to do surgery, but they couldn't do surgery because she was on blood thinners, because 3 weeks ago, she was in the hospital for AFib, and one of the ways to correct AFib is give blood thinners. So she was in blood thinners for about 4 weeks, and it needed at least 48 hours to try to get the blood thinners out of her system. So, and then the doctor told me that her bowels were pretty infected, and one of them was, a part of it was dead, so she would need a colostomy bag, and also maybe I don't know what the pee bag is called, but if they could have did the surgery, that's probably what would have happened. And so I almost had her back, fellas. I mean, she was working hard. She was 86 years old. Her birthday's May 11th. I got a huge hole in my heart. For 54 years, me and my mom have pretty much seen each other every day. Never had a dad. I had a grandma that I called my mom, and I had my mama that I called my dad because she was always a strong one. The woman always had my back, and I always had her back. I wish I could have did more for my own selfish reasons to keep her around. But her health was failing, her memory was failing, so I know myself dealing with the things we've dealt with. In the last 4 years, we've dealt with a lot. I lost my mother-in-law and my father-in-law from my wife's side, which were two very great people. I lost my dog of 13 years that I loved very much. And I lost my cat of 15 years that I loved very much. And now I lost my mother. And it's funny how in a short period of time that the things that are very important to you, you lose. And so my life has totally changed. I gotta go through all my mom's paperwork and do all that stuff. Set up going to not the cemetery, but whatever you call it, where they have the wake and everything. Can't really think too clear. It's 3 or 4 days later. I couldn't have made the video. I'm finally be able to tell the story without breaking down and crying. even though I am breaking up right now a little bit. But it was more of a basket case early on. So I don't know where everything's going to go from here. I mean, my life has totally changed. My priorities have totally changed. I just hope y'all give me a little time. And one thing I am going to ask of y'all, I don't want y'all to pray for me. I want you to pray for her. And that she's in a better place and she's happy. My name was Earlene Smith. She was a little 5'1". She was a short little, compact little woman, but very feisty, little Cajun, you know. But born in La Rose, Louisiana. You know, done a lot of amazing things when she was younger. I just wanted to let y'all know what's going on. I know y'all gave me all y'all prayers and all your great wishes and everything when I told you the story 4 weeks ago. But I'm going to be letting y'all go, fellas. All right. Y'all have a good day. Bye. Yeah.